have a really special episode for you today. I'm Rusty, we've got Vern, we've got Johnny, and we've also got Noah Kegley from Rise Up Coffee. What is Rise Up about, and how did you guys get to where you are today?
Yeah, so Rise Up started in 2005. It was founded by a longtime friend of mine and the current owner of the company, Tim Curitan. Tim and I went to college together at Salisbury University. At some point when we were young, Tim decided to go into the Peace Corps, and it was away for 2 years in a very remote area in Micronesia. When Tim came back, he, or actually prior to coming back, did some traveling around the world, spent some time in Australia and New Zealand, and met a lot of really interesting people, and kind of found a passion for the espresso culture, the specialty coffee culture, and decided to bring that here to the Eastern Shore of Maryland when he got back.
Can you talk about why certified organic and fair trade are important to Rise Up as a brand?
The Rise Up is being committed to basically the principles behind organic and behind fair trade. To us, it's very simple. It means coffee grown without the use of chemicals and pesticides. One, we don't want to serve coffee to you that has chemicals in it. Now, a lot of people in the coffee world believe that any chemicals that had been on coffee would be burned off in the roasting process.
Right.
To that, we say, well, what about the families and the people growing the coffee?
Sure, that's true.
You know, people working in fields, working around plants, and we don't want them to be around harsh chemicals. So we just feel better doing business without the use of those chemicals.
Talk about like some of the mistakes most homeowners make when they're...
Oh, sure.
Yeah.
First, see what your water is tasting like in your house, and you should filter your water.
Okay.
Coffee is 98% water after all. So if you don't have good water, you can really ruin a cup of coffee.
Sure,
exactly.
Sure, that makes sense.
And second, like we were talking about earlier, a grinder. I think a grinder is probably the second most important piece of having a good cup of coffee at home. And that's a burr grinder if possible.
Yep.
Freshly ground coffee just tastes better. Fresh coffee tastes better. We roast to order, and we do that for the sake of freshness.
Sure.
So in theory, folks who are ordering coffee from us, when you're ordering coffee on our website, we frequently are receiving an order one day, shipping it that same day or the following day.
Yep.
And the third day, depending on where you live, you're drinking that coffee in your house. So before worrying about what kind of brewing equipment to have, I always say, what kind of filtration equipment do you have? What kind of grinding equipment do you have? And then go from there.
Okay. On the website, it says people are one of the most important parts
Absolutely.
of Rise Up. Can you speak to that?
Sure. Without people, the coffee that's in these bags will do nothing.
Okay.
It'll just sit here in perpetuity. So, or actually, prior to that, it'll just sit on a tree.
That's true.
You'll hear a lot in roasting. Some roasters really carry an arrogance about that. They perhaps believe, or will have you believe, that they're doing something to coffee that is magical.
Right.
And I will tell you that there's a real skill and an art and a science to coffee roasting.
Right.
But if this coffee is grown over a 5-year period, or let's say on an annual basis, it's grown and harvested.
Right.
So someone has spent a year of their life working on this coffee, and I've roasted it for 12 minutes. Where's the magic?
Exactly.
You're right. You're right.
The magic, to me, is in the growing of the coffee. We're dealing with only organic farmers.
Right.
In order for us to keep that as a sustainable process, we need to care for those people so that they can care for the land. We discovered a nonprofit called the Coffee Trust. And the Coffee Trust, it turns out, does work in an area of Guatemala that we happen to buy coffee from.
Okay.
The area is called Chahul, or Ixio, Guatemala. They have some really cool programs that they do. They started a women's program for women who needed assistance providing for their families and maybe didn't have job training or didn't have the finances to start or run a business. They treat coffee as one part of life.
Okay.
And they assist folks with all parts of life. Health programs, education programs, library for kids.
Tell us a little bit about the people that work at Rise Up.
So we have 5 of our own retail locations, all here on the Eastern Shore of Maryland. Tim started the business on the Eastern Shore, and we're very proud of that. We're very proud to be an Eastern Shore company.
Yeah.
We have now somewhere in the neighborhood of 70 people that work at Rise Up. We love the idea of 70 individuals and possibly 70 families benefiting from Rise Up
Right.
as a whole.
Right.
Yeah, one of the things that we always say differentiates Rise Up from other coffee shops is that when you walk in, you're greeted like a human being and you're treated like a human being. Coffee can be confusing. Drinks have crazy names, and some businesses out there try to even complicate it further by making up names and words. So we try to keep things real simple here, very customer focused, and we want people to feel like this is a second home for them. We want them to feel very comfortable and relaxed here.
How do people follow Rise Up?
Yeah, follow us on social media. We have a big social media following on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram at Rise Up Coffee. Visit us riseupcoffee.com. We free shipping everywhere.
Right, and we're going to have links to all of Noah's social media underneath.
Absolutely. Appreciate it, sir.
Thank you.
Yep.
Sir. Thank you guys.
Thanks again, Noah.
Thank you.
And thank you guys.